Hello, I'm Matthew Malcolm with American Vineyard Magazine, reporting to you from Fresno, headquarters of Allied Grape Growers. I'm here with President Jeff Bitter. Wanted to get an update on the crop status this year. I believe we're already getting into harvest, right? What are the conditions like this year? Obviously, severe drought, but what's the crop looking like?
Well, you're correct in that we're getting into harvest. We've actually already picked some loads for the wineries. As we speak here, it's the last week of July. So we've already begun, and we're getting off to a quick start here. But overall, the crop size, what we're seeing is, as the year has gone on, our estimates for crop size have gone down. So early in the year, we saw a bud break that in many areas of the state was challenged because of the dry dry conditions. So you had a lot of delayed shoot growth in the spring. But the bunches were there. We had good bunch counts, not above average per se, but above last year. And so we originally thought, well, this crop looks okay. Let's see how we finish. But as we've gone through bloom and set and into this hot summer where we've had multiple heat spikes in all areas of the state, that will delay berry development or berry sizing, causes shatter during bloom. You have longer, stringier bunches. So we are just not seeing the crop size up the way that it had the potential to based on the bunch counts. So we're thinking it's a little lighter now than we would have said, 3 or 4 months ago.
Do we have a kind of a rough estimate as to what we're possibly expecting?
Well, anymore when I give crop estimates, I have to say, smoke notwithstanding, right? Because we don't know how any wildfire events might affect the crop, if there are any. Early on in the season, we were saying 4.0 or above, which would be an average crop. Now we're thinking 4.0 or below, which would be below average crop potentially. It's hard to say even now how far below. We're just kind of watch things as they begin to come in now, the beginning of harvest. But we don't see it being an average plus crop at all, which should serve to continue the market balance that we experienced after last year's very short crop.
Yeah, so last year was a tragedy for many people. In spite of that, it was good for the overall industry as far as the supply and demand balance, getting back into balance, right? So where are we at now, as far as the market standpoint? Are we coming into this harvest in a pretty good market position?
Yeah, overall, I would say it's much better than we've been the last 2 years coming into harvest. We were long coming into 19. We're long going into 20. This year, I would say we're much better balance overall with industry supply and demand. There's certain pockets of the industry that are still oversupplied, just generally speaking. Certain varieties, particularly on the coast. The coast I would say, has a generally weaker market position than the interior right now. The interior market has been strong ever since really the beginning of the pandemic. There's a lot of reasons for that we've covered in other segments. But the reality is the interior market has cleaned up very nice. Pretty much all the grapes are sold in the interior, and we're just waiting for harvest to come. In the coast, there's still grapes available. There's still Pinot Noir available. There's still Chardonnay available in certain regions. There's still Zinfandel available. So there's still some grapes available in the coast. Even things like Cabernet and Sonoma, they're still available today. It's not. It hasn't strengthened the market to the point that everything is sold pre-harvest in the coast. It has strengthened it to the point that everything is sold pre-harvest in the interior.
Well, we're obviously in a better position than we were last year. I mean, it's not, so long as we don't have more smoke exposure events, but that's, unfortunately, just something that we have to be concerned with every year.
Yeah, we were, coming into last year, we were very concerned about our position in the market because if you remember after the 19 crop, we left about 200,000 tons on the vine in 19 statewide because of lack of market. So going into 20, we had a high level of concern about the balance or lack thereof in the market. Of course, the shorter crop last year coupled with the smoke took care of that. Much different feel this year.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeff, for the update. Read more about these things in American Vineyard Magazine, and best of luck with harvest. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.